Hi, this is Samantha from richsinglemama.com, and I'm here to share with you a little bit of information and just some thoughts I've been having about how to make extra money. Now, I know that a lot of people come to my website because they've seen the Side Hustle series and they know that it's a way for them to find good information about how to make money, or at least extra money on the side. But I think a lot of people get stuck when it comes to how to make extra money. Stuck when it comes to deciding exactly what they want to do to make extra money. Because when you're bombarded with a lot of information, it's easy to get bogged down and confused. And then there's some people who have the shiny object syndrome, and I'm guilty of that. But the main thing that I want to talk to you about is how to choose the right way to make extra money for you, because it is a very personal decision, and there's just a lot to think about when you're considering making this move to make extra money. So the first thing that you have to ask is, well, how do I want to make extra money? What is it that I want to do? You come to my website, you've seen different side hustles, from baking to selling your services to teaching to using your space to rent out and so others can store, or renting your space out like an extra room if you have for a tenant. But what if you don't have any of those resources? Because it does take some resources to make extra money. It's not always free. There's always going to be a price somewhere. So that's the first reality. The second one is, how much time are you willing to devote to your pursuit of extra money? Because especially since my site is geared towards single moms, and it's easy to get overwhelmed because you already have a lot to do anyway, and do you really realistically have the time to spend on making extra money? This does require time. So you may have to stay up a little later, you may have to get up a little earlier. Whatever it is, you have to decide how much time are you willing to devote to making extra money. Another thing to keep in mind is the age of your children. Now, if you have a baby, that's going to be a little more challenging than if you have a middle schooler or a teenager. I have both. So for me, making extra money is not such a challenge when it comes to having to balance the time between taking care of the kids and making extra money, because they've learned how to take care of themselves in many ways. They know how to, I've even started teaching them how to cook. They know how to clean up after themselves. They know how to do these things. So that's not a big burden on me. But for someone who has babies, toddlers, and younger children, that time suck is there. So they need attention, they need your time, they need a lot more of you. So making extra money on the side may be a little bit more challenging. So keep that in mind. Um, the next thing to think about is, will you commit to doing it? You may have chosen what side hustle you want to do, but will you commit to doing it? That includes, will you do the research? Because it does take some research. Um, will you commit to starting it after you've done the research? Will you have a drop dead date that says, today I will start my side hustle, my extra money activities? This is the day. Write it on the calendar, circle it, or just make a decision and just do it. Will you commit to continuing it? Because it's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to stop. It's easy to say, this is too hard and I don't want to do it. But will you commit to continuing your efforts to make extra money? The final thing in that commitment process is, will you commit to finishing it? I think the easy way to think about finishing is if you set a goal. I need to make this much money, $500. I need to make $1,000 extra. Will you commit to finishing it to the end of that goal? Um, and then with that going hand in hand with the finishing the goal, you have to decide, how much extra money do you need per month? Would you need 1,000 extra? Would you need just 500 extra? And for how long? Are you trying to save up to buy a house, a down payment for a car. What is it that you're trying to do? So think about how much extra money you need, because if you don't need that much, say 300 extra, 500 extra, then your efforts may not be that intense and you may not have to spend as much time as you go along. And another thing to think about is, what do you love? This goes back to, what do you want to do? What do you love? What do you hate? Keep those in mind, because there are many opportunities out there that you might think you can do, and you may have all the skills and capabilities of doing, but do you love it? Because if you get into something that you don't love and that you absolutely hate, you're not going to finish it. You're not going to continue. And you're not going to reach your goal, and you're going to jump from one thing to the next, and it's going to be frustrating because you're going to say, well, this just doesn't work, when in fact, in the reality, it can work, but it's up to you. So think about all those things when you're thinking about how to make extra money or having a side hustle. There's a lot to think about. It doesn't have to be hard. You may need a checklist, and I might create one for you just to answer these questions and to make a decision about whether or not making extra money is going to be timely for you, if it's going to be something you will enjoy, and whether or not your children will demand too much of your time and attention to make it worth your while. And also the getting up early in the morning or going to bed late at night, all those things you have to take into consideration. But the one thing I want you to really, really remember and think about is your health. It's important, because if you get so caught up in making this extra money that you make yourself sick, is it going to be worth it? So remember that when you are making these decisions, when you're choosing your side hustle or your way to make extra money, and pull it all together, and you will find yourself more successful, more apt to complete what you start, and to be happy in the choice that you've made. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for listening. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. You can send me an email, or you can Skype me, or find me on Twitter or Facebook. I will leave my information down below. So look for that. And I wish you all the best and much success as you move forward in choosing the right side hustle for you. Thank you for watching.